And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
Okay. Looks like we are live, guys. Welcome back to another duo live show here at Learn Crypto. My name is Nick Hellman.
I'm Todd Butterfield.
The man with the plan taking us all to Lambo Land. It is good to be back. Now, this isn't a permanent setup. My voice might be a little off. It might be a little blurry, but we're trying to get it back together to do duo live shows with you guys. And hopefully we can get in the background of Todd's screen and get back in the same office here soon now that, COVID settled down and crypto market's coming back alive, yada, yada, yada. So smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and stay tuned daily here at Learn Crypto for your crypto and stocks updates and fundamental analysis and news. It's good to be back. Good to be back. What's going on today, Todd?
Well, watching, we're getting a shitty stock close, which is what I didn't want. Dow down 390. NASDAQ down 194, dragging Bitcoin down a little bit, but Bitcoin's up 1% with NASDAQ down 1.6, so can't really complain. Yep. It stopped at a level up there at 25.2, which is going to probably bring in a little bit of selling, but for right now, I'm holding Bitcoin and Ethereum still. I like the action. We did get 49 to 50 on the technometers, so we are overbought, so it does say we could use some sideways to lower. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet to take any profits from that 21,550 buy, and Ethereum at 1496, and BNB at 30, we're at
284, 285.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been talking all day about how it's pretty crazy that Bitcoin is actually up and holding these levels, while right now Dow is down 405 and NASDAQ is down 245. Pretty crazy that Bitcoin's holding in. Now, that's not to say that this can't turn around quickly, but we have our eyes peeled on that. We did sell our Solana bag today for a 11.5% gainer. We have a Cody stop that is getting pretty close here. That would be a 15% gainer if hit. And then as of now, we have pretty loose stops on our Bitcoin, ETH, and BNB position. If you want to get these live trades in real time, join patreon.com/learncrypto. And we actually just finished a Patreon-only video over there, another perk of being a Patreon member. So I guess, Todd, if you just want to pull up your charts and do your normal thing that you normally do, and we'll field some questions. I'm here to give my input, my analysis from a TA and a fundamental perspective as well. And we'll kind of inch back into our old duo live show days where we went over news articles and CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and the charts. And let's see if we can get on a roll, get our broadcast dialed in, and start having fun again for the next 3 years of this next 3-year bull market here in cryptocurrencies.
I'm getting a little bit of warning from YouTube with some bitrate problems, so your voice a little bit screwed up maybe. I think probably I'm fine. Let me run to the Ethereum chart here. Same chart we've been showing. We brought that spring or backup. If it's a backup, then we have markup phase coming, which this action the last 3 days looks pretty well like a markup phase. You can see lower right, we got a technometer 49.3. This is for US dollar Coinbase. Ethereum Tether Binance is around 50.5. So again, we are overbought. We're overbought at a previous resistance. Could be an upthrust. I don't think it is. The way it's going to be is if these stocks continue to deteriorate, and we're probably going to get crypto drugged down. So let's hope that doesn't happen. If you are long off of my calls, you could take a little bit off here if you're extremely worried. Take some profits. We've had a hell of a rally from 21,550 and 1496 Ethereum. So it don't hurt to take profits. I'm trying to squeeze all the meat I can off this thing. Even right here, Bitcoin 24.6 just doesn't give up late here with stocks closing shitty with 7 minutes to go. So, buying springs and uptrends is some things that some Wyckofians consider what they do, or they sell upthrusts and downtrends. I've done videos on that in the past. So Let's grab Bitcoin chart. Same type of thing on Bitcoin. Bitcoin USD Coinbase. We had the backup chart I've been showing all along. We traded that shakeout, bought a little bit early on the shakeout. FTX took it a little bit deeper than I thought it would. You can see here again, technometer was 50.15 yesterday, 49.14. So it has came off of exact overbought, even though Bitcoin's up 250. So still extremely good action. I got to give this room to see if it's going to be more of a markup or whether we're going to come back down and check, 20,800 again. That could happen if stocks collapse here, but I told everybody on social media and also my pro traders at WyckoffSMI.com that I bought 406. I think it's 406.65 on the SPY ETF. So I'm still friendly stocks and hoping for higher. Let me grab that chart here just real quick, and I'm going to get back to Nick and I. This is the SPY chart. The green dot showing the buy at 406.65. We're 408.98 now. So again, technometer is not oversold, so I'm not happy with today's sell-off. If we can hold these losses today, tomorrow, close tomorrow, good, then I think we could have still a pretty good weekend for crypto. So again, I'm going to stay long, and we'll see what happens. Back to Nick and I.
What's going on? It does look like Bob has some requests down there, so maybe take note of those and see if any of those are under charting software here in a second. But let's see if there's any other questions. No other questions currently. So we'll see. I guess I'll share screen real quick just to kind of go over a couple of the altcoins that we've traded recently. Here's Cody. So you can kind of guess what my stop level is based off these lines on this chart, but this is kind of what we've done. We sold out up here after this big rally. We saw a head and shoulder here for the drop, and then we bought the bullish divergence down here. We are looking to take profits on that and protect some of our profits. That's just kind of what we're going off of. I'm hoping that Bitcoin holds and this stop level can hold this previous net line, and we can stay long on crypto. But if not, I want to lock in 15% gains as we get back more in the trading mode over on Patreon, trying to put some dollars in our pocket. We did hedge against the drop in Bitcoin because I did get scared just off the terrible market conditions in the stocks, but so far Bitcoin continues to hold, so this might end up being a bad sell, but we did lock in 11.5% gains on Solana here on this rally. I just saw it falling below this 200 moving average, the weak stocks, and I just wanted to lock in 11.5% gains after the buyback here on the dip. We did sell this breakout of this pattern down here on a stop, and we were able to get buyback the same number of tokens, putting cash into our pocket after this drop as well. Solana's one that I still like, but I don't love. I do think it's undervalued due to the FTX debacle, and if we do get a sell-off, we probably will buy it back cheaper. I'm hoping that these lows do hold, and maybe we can buy it back somewhere around here, but we'll see as things progress. If you like I said, if you want the live updates, you have to join patreon.com/learncrypto. You will hopefully catch us live, or maybe catch us over on Twitter, but again, things happen quickly in crypto, and we do have a paid group for a reason, so check us out over there. Another one that has been a stellar performer for the bag. I wish I wouldn't have sold it so early off of some of the pump, but it has been Floki. We've had several trades here over the past month or so, as you can see here, starting by selling out at these levels, a buyback, making another 10% gain, buying all of our assets back, selling a 40% pump, then selling another 25% for an 80% pump, and then live during our Patreon live show about 30 minutes ago, we sold the remaining of our bag after the 215% pump over the past 2 days in Floki, driven primarily by Elon Musk tweeting his dog, who happens to be named Floki, KuCoin announcing that it will be listing Floki, as well as another exchange listing for Floki over the past 2 days. I think this is an exuberant pump. It's with a heavy heart to sell my Floki. I love Floki. If any of you Floki Vikings are watching, I hope to be able to buy this back either on a dip or an easier setup. But when things go straight up like this, right after we just bought it back, and we can lock in 40, 80, and 200% gains in 2 days, we got to do that with these market conditions, especially with stocks as red as they are and Bitcoin running into some overhead resistance.
All right. I'm going to take a few requests here. Big House. We're going to go to the crypto chart. Here's ADA. We had that right at oversold on the 8th when I gave the Ethereum buy. So we did spring that level just by a hair down there at that 0.346. Technometer 46.4, it was 48 yesterday. So again, not aggressively overbought. It's going to matter what we do here with Bitcoin, probably what we do here with stocks. So let's look at stocks one more time here. We got 1 minute to go. Dow down 440, low of the day. NASDAQ down 214, a shitty close of the stocks. Bitcoin trying to hold that 24.5 level and doing it well so far. So again, NASDAQ down 1.75, Bitcoin up right at 1%. So still impressive. Do not like the stock sell-off here though going into this last second. So gonna have to watch that. But ADA definitely not overbought yet. Hopefully that wasn't an upthrust and we come back down for a week or 10 days here. That would not be pretty. But we'll try to worry about that maybe tomorrow going into the weekend. Then we've got Bob's asking some different charts here. SYN. Those are some names I'm not. Those are some smaller coins. It's not in my software. Let me go back to. We got SYN USD. I'm gonna have to go. These are not in my software, so these are coming off a trading view. SYN. I mean that's stayed strong here. I would think that one could still work higher. Anything that's as strong as what Ethereum and Bitcoin is doing, I think I would stay with. Let's look at LDO. LDO Tether Binance. Down 1%. A little bit, not trying to get through these highs. So, again, I don't think I'd worry about them yet. Some of these I would need to add to my software to get better ideas on them. There's one, again, that came down to previous fourth wave support down there on the 12th and 13th. That was obvious easy buy at 220. Again, I think still higher on OP. Let's do ILV real quick. Down 3%. Not as strong. That one would maybe bother me a little bit. Underperforming short term. INJ, same type of thing. Tether Binance down 2.38%. That one I still think could hold and go higher. So it's all going to matter, I think, here short term what stocks do. If they would quit dragging us down, I think Bitcoin will continue to try to hold here. This has been an unbelievable rally. I've been showing the 5 waves up. I mean, it looked like we could see 28,000 maybe. Maybe that might be a stretch. I don't think the high would be in right now, which that would be the count, which says wave 1 is ending here. For that to happen, that count there would have to mean the stocks are ready to turn down pretty sharp here. I don't think that's the case. I don't really have a strong sell in stocks, so I'm not going to agree with that yet. Let's see if this wave 5 can subdivide higher and give us something more like we had before.
Let's just make new users aware there that the green and red arrows there are official trades that we did take in the Patreon group that are timestamped. So going along around 18,300, selling out at 22,650, somewhere around there, looking for a drop as Bitcoin consolidated up there, stick to our guns, looking for a drop. We did get the sell-off that got us long on Bitcoin again, around 21,500, and now we're sitting here at 24,500. That Bitcoin sell-off also allowed us to buy back a lot of our altcoin positions at cheaper levels than the sells, like Solana, Cody, BNB, Ethereum, Floki, and others. Those are the trades that we are currently in and the ones that we're currently managing over at patreon.com/learncrypto. Quick question from Slime Kuda. Is Ferrum Network expected to be a player for pre-sales in the next bull run? Yes, so own 100,000 Ferrum and 1 Ferrum X to get pre-sale access. You also get monthly holder rewards, and they will be launching mainnet. But incubation is going to be another big player to get in pre-sales for Ferrum Network. Namely, in the next week, I don't even know if this is public information, but I'm going to tell you here on Learn Crypto because we always break the news, and it's not really detrimental, and I didn't sign an NDA for this information. In a week, about a week and a half, they will be launching their next pre-sale opportunity in a project called Goracle. Why is this important? It is in the Oracle sector. It is going to compete with the likes of Band and Chainlink, which have been very popular in the markets and very strong in the markets lately. On top of that, it does have full support from Algorand Foundation and will be the only and the first Oracle for the Algorand ecosystem. And then we'll look to expand to Cosmos, which if you know me at all, I think Cosmos will be a big beneficiary of this next bull market cycle with Juno and Osmosis and everything else. Also, with Ferrum Network's investment thesis, the round that you get in by owning Ferrum and FerrumX is the best possible round. Why is that? A, it's in the private round, so it's cheaper than the public round. Secondly, it is the only round in which you will be able to take even your unvested tokens, even the tokens you don't have access to, and they will be able to be delegated into the node infrastructure and earning you rewards from day one. So that means even though you only get 5% of your tokens at TGE and then they're vested over 12 months, you will be able to take all those unvested tokens, put them in the node, earn that APR from day one, and that is the only round that will happen in. So I would recommend to invest in the Goracle presale via Ferrum Network when you get that information. I think it will go public probably in 1 to 2 weeks from now. And the TGE, even better, the TGE for Goracle is set for April 7th, so no waiting of a long period of time for these tokens to hit the open market. And they have good backers. They're going to have TokenSoft and some of these other launch pads, pools that will have very small allocations, but they will only have allocations in the public round. Ferrum will get it in the private round. Another benefit to being in Discord is, well, Learn Crypto's private Discord. Guess what? We got an allocation. We were actually whitelisted for that same round. So some people in the community, if they really like Oracle, will be able to invest via Learn Crypto and via Ferrum to double dip on the presale opportunity. So to answer your question, yes, week and a half is the next presale for Ferrum Network, and I do recommend to invest in that project.
You sound like you know what the hell you're talking about.
A little bit. I'm excited for it because, the terms for that round, you earning APR on unvested tokens. That's how you that's some alpha right there. That's unique.
Thank you for that update, Mr. Nick. What we got here? Litecoin, Big House. Let me show Litecoin here real quick. I put that chart
on that real quick. Patrick Rooney said that Algo is BitBoy's favorite alt for next bull cycle. Well, hey, if BitBoy's right and Algorand goes up a lot, then obviously the Oracle of that network is going to benefit, and that's going to be Goracle, as they have direct investment from the Algorand Foundation.
All right, here's the Litecoin chart. I did put that on Twitter earlier. Mentioned the Litecoin definitely was outperforming, could lead the rally. That's doing that. It's in a markup phase. You can see the classic Wyckoff markings on here, selling climax. Automatic rally, secondary test, shakeout, jump, backup, markup. The software gave us that backup oversold at that 65 level, and really it's been straight up since then. I mentioned we'd have some type of ABC down. We had that, and it bottomed with Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. So that one looks like continues higher until we get hopefully a sell here, get some type of setback, and try it again.
Yeah, Litecoin's kind of been a lagger compared to the other major alts in crypto, but it still exists, it's still there, it's still on the front of all the charts for CNBC and everything else, and we still, Todd still likes to trade Litecoin because it runs true with Wyckoff. If you look at those markings on that chart, you're like, what the heck is that? That means you either need to tune in every day to watch Todd's predictions and analysis, or head over to learncrypto.io and take the Wyckoff and cryptocurrency trading course to learn about Wyckoff yourself, so you can start finding some of these trades without Todd's help or my help. We do have plenty of community members that find the trades, bring it to Todd, and Todd's like, yeah, those Wyckoff markings look right, and I'm actually going to take an official buy based off of your charts. So you can become a student, graduate, get your book, get your certificate at learncrypto.io with the Wyckoff and cryptocurrency trading course.
And again, that ADA, a lot of these coins did that. It came down and gave you that spring action, which is movement down below previous support, kind of catches all the longs, gets people short, and then reverses back up. So we had the new low in the OP. Price was holding at much higher levels in ADA. There's going to be a lot of coins look this way. Then that propelled us higher for the last 3 days. So that's what's going on.
Bob says XRP is the GOAT laggard. Hey, if you've been following us at all since 2018, the only time we ever trade XRP or XLM is during their conference season. Usually I think it was November. Shit, I don't even think we did it this last year. But what we would do is ignore all the XRP people, all the XLM people for 11 months out of the year. But that 1 month, 2 weeks leading up to the conference and the 2 weeks after the conference or the day after the conference, we would buy in, we would ride into all their hype and their FOMO about their conference is going to be so great, the information they're going to do is life-changing, and then we would sell the pump on everybody because we really don't care about either of those coins, but those are like the only trades we would take on them. So I hope XRP gets cleared by the SEC. It's probably overall good for the ecosystem, but I just think there's better gains and better projects out there, so we don't really do much with XRP or XLM except buy the rumors, sell the news around their yearly conferences. Unfortunately, if you're a big supporter of them, that's cool. Nothing against you. It just doesn't really fit into our portfolio parameter, and historically, that's the only time we've seen meaningful gains is around their conferences. So we'll continue to do that until it fails. And yeah, if they get cleared by the SEC, I'm sure there will be a short-term pump, but I'm not here to try to predict when that's going to happen, and I don't want to hold XRP that long hoping that the SEC clears them.
Appreciate it, Chemo. We sold a shitload of courses back there 4 or 5 years ago when we first launched this channel. So still got quite a few students saying that the courses were life-changing. So glad it helped you. I mean, obviously, I liked Wyckoff back in 1982. I'm getting ready to post later tonight a bunch of pictures from Phoenix, Arizona, and Park Ridge of original owners and people that work there. So the course is pretty inexpensive here. We got a crypto course, and we've got still the Unleashed course, which is a little more stock orientated. So appreciate that. I'm going to go to the XRP chart here real quick. Not much to show on XRP. I mean, we've had this support at 30, 33, 3 oversold readings here. One thing I will say is even up to 3 days ago on the 12th, 4 days ago, OP hit a new low, and price is obviously making higher lows. So it looks like we're setting up for something. I'd almost think that keying out that 36 level here maybe still could work for still much more upside here if we are in this markup phase for Bitcoin. So still could be pretty good here on XRP.
Yeah, but the Patrick Rooney says also we looking at any new narratives. The biggest gainers next cycle will be newer coins and projects. I do agree with you. Normally that's how that works. But I do believe there was some very innovative projects that launched on the back end of the bull market. So they kind of took the wood these past 18 months that will have big turnarounds. Why is that? A, they're still newer as far as launching at the end of the bull market. But B, the big names that have survived 18 months of bear market prove that there is a user fit there, that they are good with money and finances, and they will be big winners and successful in a bull market where things get much easier. Some of these projects include the one on Cosmos, so I think Atom is going to be good for the next cycle. And then on the smaller note, I really like Juno. They just had their first halving. They're going to have another halving in less than a year from now, kind of right before the Bitcoin halving, which I think is going to be good for that ecosystem. Other ones like Floki. Floki came out on the back end of the bull market as just a meme coin. Now they do have a lot of things going on. They have Valhalla, they have a metaverse, they have Flokified, the DeFi locker, all giving real world utility to Floki. And even myself, we just traded out of Floki, and this thing is just so exuberant. I don't even know if I'm going to buy it back cheaper. I'm hoping so, but we'll see. And there's more off the list. I would have to look at our portfolio and what we have going on. But I think a lot of the kind of old OG coins do get lost from cycle to cycle unless they reinvent themselves. So like Zen, for example, with the rise of the interest in ZK Snarks, which Zen is compatible with, and the final launch of their mainnet coming over the next quarter, that could be big. Ferrum Network, for example, moving to a mainnet with Polkadot and this multi-chain vision for the world and the node infrastructure and reinventing themselves there, that could be big. Cody with their launch of DJED, which is a collateralized stablecoin, with all in the news, all this fear of the stablecoins. Having a collateralized stablecoin that is going to be the main stablecoin of Cardano's ecosystem, which still is kind of still hitting its runway, could allow for Cody to be successful, even though it's been around for a couple market cycles. So I think there is still some opportunity here, and the surviving coins that were still relatively new in last bull market that survived this 18 months of bear, that kept developing, that really have a good thesis and they fit in with the market cycle, I think could be safe plays for big comebacks. But yeah, I do agree that we'll need to keep an eye out for some new assets and some new products that launch and catch the wave of the bull market. And I think Goracle, the pre-sale through Ferrum, has a good opportunity to do that if BitBoy's right with Alvarado.
Appreciate it, Chemo. I will say Monday I fly to New York to meet a London hedge fund owner. So hopefully that leads to something. launched a new hedge fund last year. Been in the business for years and years with hedge funds, so I'm kind of excited about that going into Monday. I might be meeting up with Thomas Lee, who everybody would know from CNBC. He's been pretty hot here calling the stock lows, and that and with us here calling the crypto lows. We're looking forward to maybe bringing him in for another live show here on our channel again.
Normally, when we have the Duo live show, we go through some news articles and some other price updates, but, you know, we're trying to get back in the flow of things. There's no new real major news articles to go over, so we're not going to do that. But it's good to be back on here in the Duo capacity. Make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. See what we have to offer over on LearnCrypto.io. Follow us on Twitter. You can find our Twitter handles in the description, or just search us by our real names because we aren't some PFPs, imaginary people. You know, we've worked in the traditional finance industry for a long time. Todd obviously has more gray hair than me, even though I have no hair.
Hey.
So you can tell he's been in the industry a little longer than me. But I was in traditional finance and alternative assets for 7 years before I retired from that in March of last year, and kind of gone full crypto since then. But we've been in the game since 2016, and here to help, here to answer questions. So if you guys have any charts you want Todd to look at, let us know. If you have any fundamental questions, let us know. And if you want to get on the winning side of some trades here, join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. Again,
WyckoffSMI.com is the original institute started by Mr. Wyckoff in 1931. I took the course in 82. So, and then actually took over the institute in late 2016, I believe it was, early 2017. Let's go to SYN. I mentioned this before. Somebody asked about it further up. SYN, I mean, it's had nice impulsive moves as well off the low and holding up here near the highs. So I think that one probably still short term will follow Bitcoin higher if we can get stocks to quit pulling us down, and then hopefully look to get a buy on an ABC pullback. And then let's go to Atom. This is one I've shown before with some Wyckoff labels on it. Hopefully we're just backing up here to previous resistance. You can see here we just got another oversold technometer, the 11th and the 12th, down here at the lows. So I don't really want to see this thing come back below 1250. Would not like that price action on Atom short term, but otherwise Atom is one that I think can try to come alive here.
I mean, man, we don't trade Atom too much, because if you guys want to know, one of the things we do, we have Atom and Juno paired up together on the Windex, and we farm with it. So we earn 35% APR, and we take those rewards and we sell them all for Juno to build up the Juno back. But based on that chart you were showing, it looks like the technometer has traded that thing pretty well. Maybe that needs to be added to your trading list. But I think you'll have some people on Discord undecided on what they're going to do, whether they're going to farm with it for the yield or whether they're going to trade it. So. But that's kind of, that's why me and Todd are partnered up. I do a lot of the fundamentals. I do a lot of the staking, the master nodes, the yield farming, the DeFi. We made a killing on the launch of the BSC network on BNB, Cake, and all these rewards. And Todd sticks to the charting of a lot of these large assets and tries to give us a general market direction and get us some good entries on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, BNB, and some of the other big boys. So he does a lot of the trading with a little bit of fundamentals. I do a lot of the fundamentals with a little bit of the trading, and we try to bring that together into the private group to, even in the bear market, try to rack up some passive income, stay ahead of the curve, and find new opportunities.
Here's H-bar. Let's show this real quick. H-bar is not one that I trade, one that I have seen monitor a little bit. I mean, I think the chart looks appropriate here, so I do like the action. The 78, 80 level looks like previous resistance. We're backing up to it. Some big volume did come in, as you know, as we broke through resistance. Back down on some lower volume. Not an oversold technometer yet, but H-bar looks pretty good here.
And then also we do have a question on what would be your mega bearish count if Bitcoin if there's a mega grizzly bear coming around the corner. Like, what's worst case scenario you see for Bitcoin? Obviously you can say, oh, we go to 12,000 like all the idiots on Twitter were calling for it when we were saying to buy at 18,000. Oh, did I say that? But what would be your bearish count now? Say, we did have early price objectives earlier this week before we saw this price action of 25,000. If we get rejected here at 25 and we're bearish, what do you see is in the cards?
I mean, my charts are got too much going on. I mean, I thought this was a red wave 4 ending at the lows down there at 15.5. I guess probably just to make it quick and easy that that we're still needing a better wave 5 down for that wave 4. So we could come down to that 12,000 level to finally mop up the lows. But I don't know. I just don't see that at the moment. So we just
So
have
in
to watch
your
some
mind,
levels.
if the 10 to 12,000 ultimate bear scenario is out the window, then your next worst case scenario would be account to what, 18,000 again?
I mean, I think, let me go back to a little bigger chart here. I think anything below 18.5 is starting to be really precarious. We got a lot more maybe selling coming in. So 18.5 would be a level where I'd be starting to be really concerned that something else is playing out. I think the only way that's going to happen is if stocks are ready to collapse again and take out the lows of last year. Fed's going to raise rates, many more times. Inflation is going to continue to cause havoc here. And then that would be, I think, the only way Bitcoin's going to turn back down and collapse again.
Dr. Daz says, hey, Nick, what's the minimum and maximum buy-in for the Oracle through the group? The minimum buy-in was 100, the maximum, there was no maximum. I think that whitelisting is over, so the group buys for Learn Crypto into Oracle is now over, but you will get an opportunity to invest through Ferrum Network in about a week and a half. They will have more strict restrictions on that because they were only given, I think, 125,000 allocation versus Learn Crypto. We could invest up to 800,000 because it was their whitelisted community members, and they just lumped us in with their community members. That's why there was no maximum there. So hopefully you have Ferrum, and if you do, I would recommend to invest whatever max opportunity they give you. Based on 125,000, I would say your max, depending on what you have, is probably somewhere around 1,500 to 2,500.
I'm going to bring that chart up too for Anthony. What's up, Anthony? Same type of thing here. We had new low in the OP, price holding higher levels, got an oversold technometer. Those are trades you want to look for. That happened down there on FRM right at 3 cents, setting here at 5. No real activity on the technometer really since then. OP is pretty flat, but price action's obviously decent here in the last month and a half or two. So again, for us, looking for an ABC pullback in some of these markets, resets in the oversold technometers, and then jump back on trades again.
Yep, and FRM is one of those too. They do have this pre-sale coming up, which might get some new buyers, but on top of that, they are apparently going to be launching more information in a new white paper in the next week or two on the mainnet launch. And once that comes, obviously, that's always good to see new tech, new development around the horizon, and maybe a date on when that's coming. And they're going to go to a delegation and masternode ecosystem similar to that of Cardano, similar to that of Oracle and some of these others, which means more locked up tokens for APR, which means higher price. So exciting times ahead, especially also on top of that, if the markets get better, that means they do more pre-sales, which gets more holders and more buyers. But again, it is a small cap project, so invest at your own risk. Understand that there is volatility there, and a lot of the gains in the alpha from owning a project like Ferrum comes from your passive income, comes from the allocation and the pre-sales, and comes from the potential upside if it goes mainstream, just like it did in the last bull market, where it went from we got invested at as early as a penny and a half, as late as 10 cents, and it went all the way to $1. So those are the type of gains that you can get out of these small caps, but you do have much more risk, and they won't follow Bitcoin and Ethereum to a T due to the lower liquidity and harder access points for the average investor.
What's up, Alvarado?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm liking these little buttons you got over there.
The best one, though, is you got to go back to the usual one.
I'm rich, bitch!
We gotta wait another few more months until we get to those high water marks to be practicing
right now.
I've got balls of steel.
That's us for the past fucking 18 months. God
You want to talk about, let me show a network chart real quick, and then you could talk about it if you want. Chart's not as friendly here. Came down pretty hard down into those lows into late December. I mean, sideways here. It'd be nice for it to clear resistance at 25 and put some good green bars behind it. You will see the LP is hitting new lows as we're talking, and it is holding. So short term, if it can just keep that 19.192 level or so intact, it might be okay.
Yeah, and so Network, I can't remember the exact numbers, turned something like a $5,000 pre-sale investment through Ferrum into like $90,000. We did sell 56% of our allocations, at $4.50 all the way up as high as $7.50. And we do own some of their NFTs. Look, the metaverse still isn't really launched. The holdings that we still have of it, we're hopeful on. We do have the NFT stake. It's an interesting project. If you're into the metaverse and the gaming niche, check it out. It's built with Unreal 5 engine, but I'm not going out and re-topping up. That's actually the money that bought my dad the 1969 Mach 1 Mustang, turning a $5,000 investment into a 1969 $80,000 car is pretty crazy. We still have 43% of our position, and hopefully they can launch the game this bull market, and we can take advantage of metaverse hype and sell that once again at $4, $5, $6, $7, $10. Patrick Rooney says he's been talking about the rewards from farming on Cosmos and converting those rewards to Atom and staking those Atom for 21%. Yes, so you're going the more conservative route and going with Atom. I have the Atom and Juno paired for that farming. We sell the rewards for Juno, which is the smaller asset of the two. I think Juno is going to do well. Obviously, there's more risk, but there is more upside potential as the market cap of Juno is much smaller than that of Atom, all within the same ecosystem. But yeah, same approach there. And I think you can stake Juno if you want in your Kepler wallet for 15 to 21% as well. The downside to doing that and staking those rewards is you do have to you do get those locked up for a 28-day unbonding period. So when you're like, oh man, the market's hot and I want to sell these, it is going to take you 28 days to get those coins back and to be able to sell them. So that is the one downside of locking them up. That's why sometimes maybe not lock them up and just let them sit in the wallet if you think we're getting close to a sell opportunity.
Big House has been around for a while. Ethereum at 90, Bitcoin 3,300. Now those were the fun times. I think my first buy on YouTube was $12.50 on Bitcoin. I think 1,800. And what Nick and I was on here, he mortgaged his house at 3,400. We had the spacesuits out. Gave a big buy at 6,500. So yeah, those were the days. I think I started on
dancing
YouTube
around with NASA Halloween outfits and rocket ships.
Ethereum was $14 when I first researched it, me and the big BZ. And XRP was a half a penny. Appreciate it, Robert.
Timothy Morvan says, just invested another $10,000 in Bitcoin. Over the long term, I think you will be okay. Be careful up here, Timothy, as we are in at a lower level and there is some red in the stocks. But if Bitcoin can maintain these levels, we do see Bitcoin having a nice rise towards the 28,000 mark. So I don't know if you're a long-term hodler or a trader, but hey, shout out to you for dollar cost averaging and getting some more Bitcoin in your wallet.
And let's hope this Bitcoin holds this rally. I mean, I didn't sell today. Technometers just gave me, just got to the point at that 25.2 level of overbought. It wasn't classic major overbought considering the move we had. So it just kept me long. Those are just decisions I got to make on hopeful experience, etc. Because if this is a backup and we're having a markup here, we're going to get overbought. We're going to stay overbought. If we're in a trading range, we should have sold that 25.2. But if stocks hold in here, I think Bitcoin can still right itself and still try to work a little bit higher here short term. And then at some point, yeah, we're going to take stuff off, look to reset. We mentioned on our Patreon only show we did right before this. In 2019, we had the big rally from, 3,000 to 13, 14,000. I had about 12 buys on the way up, no sells. And we got to sell at the exact top before a $2,000 red bar. So I'm kind of hoping that we just continue to get good buy signals on the way up and ride this thing up. Appreciate it, Lois.
Luis Alvarado says, I've been subscribed since the 3K low as well. Best decision I've ever made. Hey, we're hoping to get these dual live shows going again. Hopefully we can get in studio, and if not, we can get this virtual presentation dialed in a little better for you guys and kill the game. If the bull market has begun and if the low is in, we got 3 years of trade opportunities, 3 years of investment opportunities, and 3 years to try to make a lot of money and change the life of as many people as possible. Obviously changed my life. I don't work in traditional finance anymore, even though I have 2 degrees and worked there for 7 years. Todd's gone from 90-10 stocks in crypto to closer to 50-50, doing a lot with Patreon, doing a lot with Discord and the PCG group. And crypto has afforded us a lot of opportunities in our life to give back to people like my dad and to other people in the community. So hopefully we can change your lives by tuning in. We're not always right. These are only just opinions. You have to do your own research. But we've been around the block, been through a lot of cycles, and we're going to have more winners than losers. And that's really all we can try to do for these next 3 years as the bull market continues.
And there is Outlaw Preacher.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, preacher? That's an old name too. Don't let it fool you. John Andrews. And I agree, it does feel like 2019. That's why I said I'm looking for those ABC pullbacks. We just had one, a nice little spring back up. We're going to have more of those. So let's just look for, try to take profits on rallies, try to get things back on ABC pullbacks, keep a hodl position, and see what we can do here, and just keep adding the bags.
Bye. Kimo Zabi said you guys went live at 13,500 and gave the sell live on air, called it within 15 minutes of that peak, and that also during that call, not only was it trading bags, we said sell everything, sell all hodl bags. Now, we wish we would have done that at the 69,000 peak in the last bull market. We didn't. We did say things were getting frothy. We did sell out of some assets. We did buy other internal investments, like I bought a pet store and a car and a golf cart and a vacation to Jamaica and a lot of other shit, but we didn't get the full sell signal like we did on that 14K peak. But hey, all we can do is live another day, trade another day, and continue to be here and do what we do best, and that's to try to put money in your bags, help answer questions, and help you on your journey. I mean, trading stocks is hard enough. They've made it seem so easy, all the retail getting on Robinhood during COVID, but it's not easy. Now, crypto is a whole another market with 24/7 new coins, scams, rug pulls, fraud, bad links, and we just try to help you avoid all those pitfalls and keep the coins in your wallet, keep the coin number going higher, and when you guys need the cash, have cash there to sell out.
Let's face it, we're getting some old names here, so yeah, it's way better. It's way easier to get to do these live shows when you got the names that we've been messing with since 2017, because a lot of these names in there right now are some old names. And appreciate it. And let's have some fun. We never did get that Vegas trip. We've been damn close to it. We talked about it at 20,000. We was talking about it at 60,000. If we get to 100 grand, we're going to tear Vegas up.
Any question, guys? Ask us some questions. What charts do you want Todd to look at? What other fundamental questions do you have? If not, we're going to wrap it up because we did do the Patreon only show right before this. So we've been talking now for a couple hours, but we're here for you. Ask a question. We'll take a look at the chart. We'll help you out. And if you are watching this after the fact, not live, join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. We'll send you a link for Discord, and you join the private community of over 200 members in there, 200, 300, 400 members. I don't know what's in there right now. And you can ask any questions, copy our trades, and get some other research from other groups such as Palm Beach Confidential, Blackstone, and others.
Let me run a quick disclaimer. Hold on.
There is a high degree of risk involved in trading cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns. Thank you.
Okay, Silvergate, yeah, they had Cohen came in and bought some. Stock got hurt today. I would think buying that here and holding it, I would have to think that's a home run. I just ran the disclaimer. Do your own research. I am a registered investment advisor. Trade stocks through Schwab, manage crypto assets through trading APIs. Silvergate's been annihilated, but I think with Cohen coming in and taking a percentage and things like that, I think you got to be on that. Let me bring that chart up real quick. Everyone knows how ugly it is, but let me bring it up anyway. That thing is what the high on that was at 238, and the low is down here at 10. We did run up to like 23, 24 yesterday on that news. That was the news from Cohen coming in. Big reversal today, obviously, but yeah, I think that one, I'd buy that for the kids and put it away. If stocks turn higher, cryptos turn higher, I would think they're going to get everything turned around there and be okay.
Somebody wants you to look at the APT chart as well. Aptos. And then Matic.
Whoa. Here's the APT chart. I know I showed that in the Discord this day here when I showed it this day here when we was around that 1320 level, stating that it was coming down to previous fourth wave. And also we was looking at buying Ethereum. So 1333, you could have bought it. We're 1516. We didn't get oversold technometer, but we didn't get that on a lot of things. I'd mentioned that. But and we bought Bitcoin there on the 12th. So again, I think APT continues higher. That's obviously high risk when it had a big rally off the lows, 500%. But I would think that one continues higher as well. That might be one of those new ones that the next bull market leader.
Patrick Rooney says, Nick, any thoughts on doing some airdrop farming? I know some guys that killed it last year during the brutal set-off by interacting with new protocols. You know, I can't see all these new protocols all the time, so if you're in the Discord and you've heard of one, toss it in there. I'll try to look into it and see if it's worthwhile. We do avoid some of the scams and some of the phishing attempts and some of the rug pulls by, you know, being selective on when we interact with these. Obviously, that means that, you know, we miss out on some opportunities there, but, you know, we're always willing to look into them and, you know, trying to find the next big thing. So let us know. We've done a lot with the dexes over at Atom, for example, at Cosmos with Osmosis. We took advantage of that. Then Juno took advantage of that now on Windex. So we do try out new things if it's got the right backers or the right GitHub or the right audits. Trying really not to get fished and lose all of our assets in some of these, trying to chase some yield or chase some airdrops. But yes, there is airdrops out there that have been pretty good the last year or so. And then lastly, Patrick Rooney says, also, you need to do an interview with Richard Hart. He does them from time to time. It would be sick. Yeah, would be dope to do an interview for Richard Hart. Why is that? Well, we kind of missed out on Hex, but we did sacrifice to both Pulse Chain and PulseX in the Patreon group at the earliest possible sacrifice stage. I think it was 10,000 tokens for $1 or something like that, 10,000 to 1 ratio. And Pulse Chain is in version 3 of the testnet, so that could launch soon. If that happens, I know a lot of people in our Discord are set to make a lot of money because I think both Pulse Chain and PulseX are going to have many multiples upon launch. Why is that? Well, look what happened with Hex. All those people locked up the Hex tokens for an extended period of time. Who are the biggest investors in Pulse Chain and PulseX? All the Hex investors. They saw Hex do 10,000x, so they're going to be more inclined to lock up these tokens as well, which is it could artificially propel the prices of both those assets, of which we invested in the early possible round. And that could be a really big pickup to maybe get us towards our high watermark out of the bear market with the launch of those two, because we did sacrifice almost 2 years ago. We sacrificed when Ethereum was like, what, $3,000, $4,000 or something crazy. So we kind of locked in that Ethereum price, and we've just been waiting patiently for 2 years now for that network to launch. So I'm excited for that, and that'd be another good reason to have Richard Hart on, because so many in this community did invest or sacrifice, for legal terms, into both those projects that he's looking to launch here shortly.
I got to go back here. Chris has been a big supporter. He asked about Litecoin. We already covered it, so quick I'm going to go over. Here's the Wyckoff markings. We are in a markup. I talked about it leading the way. It continues to do that. Didn't get oversold in the last pullback like Bitcoin didn't either. I went ahead and jumped on Bitcoin on a 42 technometer, which was good. This one came down to 40. But Litecoin looks like it's going to continue to lead if this is a new bull market. And then Matic, let's go over that one real quick. That's another one that we've talked about. Should be another leader. Matic, Tether, Binance. Couple green dot oversold buys on Matic. That one holding today's gains pretty well. Technometer 46.8. Not much I have to add here except it's been extra strong. And again, there's 3 buys off the low technometer. Didn't get it a few days ago as well, but Matic's got to be, again, another leader of the bull market. Bitcoin dominance chart, I'm going to run to that too, Big House. We've got that in front of us. I had this marked for a while. I think we had a sign of strength, maybe a last point of support already behind us. So Bitcoin dominance still could be strong here for a while. I think that's a hard chart to trade off of. But, and I do trade a lot of Bitcoin, Ethereum, the bigger names. Nick picks up the smaller and mid caps. But I think Bitcoin still is going to be a lead dog in this bull market.
You want to take a look at CRB as well for Bob? Luis says, with all these exchanges dropping like flies, what are the most reliable ones? We've always been proponents of Coinbase and Binance and KuCoin. So that's what we've been sticking with, and so far we've avoided a lot of the fallout. We had no recommendation for FTX, no recommendation for some of the other ones that have gotten into trouble, and we've kind of just stuck with Coinbase, stuck with Binance, and stuck with KuCoin. KuCoin did have a hack, but everybody got 100% of their funds. Their insurance covered it all, so no big deal there. That's what I would recommend for centralized exchanges. For DEXs, we use PancakeSwap for BSC, Uniswap for Ethereum, QuickSwap for Polygon is fine, utilizing MetaMask, Kepler Wallet, etc. So,
I was trying to bring up
hit me up in Discord.
I was trying to bring up CRV in the software, but all I've got is my consolidated exchanges. I'm having an issue with that from my developers, so I didn't have a CRV with just a current exchange like Binance. But here's the Binance chart in front of us. Same type of thing, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. I think we're in a wave 5 higher. It'd be nice to see this thing try maybe the 150 level before we have an ABC pullback. So let's see if it can hold in here with Bitcoin. And as everything else continues still higher here short term, would be the hope.
All right, I think that's about it for the show. I'm getting tired. Todd.
I got a
we on this show, then we did the Patreon only show. But it's nice to get back on here in the Duo show. Let's do more of them and try to hone in on our presentation for this so we can bring you guys some content. So make sure to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and stay tuned for your daily updates here right at Learn Crypto. Join us at patreon.com/learncrypto for 24/7 access to me and Todd. And if you want to see what else we have to offer, both free and paid, go over to learncrypto.io. Anything else to add, Todd, before we say bye?
I'm doing an 8:30 interview tonight for an hour with Arcane Bear. I forget how to spell that. It's something like that. He's got like 48,000 subscribers. So if you want to, I'm going to be talking, I'm sure, mostly about Wyckoff tonight. So if you want to check into that, that's close to the spelling. Again, 48,000 subscribers. You should be able to find it. I'll probably post it as well on my Twitter, etc. And going to finish usual. Going to run a couple commercials on the crypto Discord where we give the real trades real time, $40 a month. And then I'm going to run probably a stock Discord that we also have. We manage some assets, stocks, crypto. So hit us up if you need something. And we're out of here.
Peace.
Later.
Warren Buffett, American investor, business tycoon, and one of the wealthiest people in the world, once said, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." But how is that possible? Well, knowledge is power. In 2020, it is no longer news that cryptocurrencies are the currency of the digital future. Bitcoin's stability amidst unprecedented global economic impacts from COVID-19 has proven once again that crypto is here to stay. Learning how to trade, when to trade, and where to trade crypto assets can make the difference between success and failure. At LearnCrypto.io, we offer a pathway to sustainable and lifelong wealth by helping open-minded beginners and experienced traders navigate the thin ice of the cryptocurrency markets. Live shows, interviews, coin reviews, fundamental analysis, predictive trading bots, and open chat access to a community of real traders. These are just a few of the benefits you'll receive with a membership on patreon.com/learncrypto. Sign up today if you strive to build yourself a brighter tomorrow.
Do you personally invest or trade stocks? Then you'll want to gain access to our private Discord channel. By subscribing to our pro traders at wyckoffsmi.com, you'll receive individual stock suggestions based upon the Wyckoff method, review possible trade setups, as well as receive emails when any trade suggestions are given. But if you're too busy to manage your own stock portfolio, consider our private client group at our registered investment advisor, Black Bay Capital Advisors. You'll get the personal touch while we manage your stock portfolio for you through the trusted custodian, Charles Schwab. For an annual fee, you'll have more time to enjoy life while we focus on growing your portfolio. We'll be on the same side of the table, working to help you secure your long-term financial goals.
We'll see you all again. Sleep tight.